because we'll be down there.
My brain's fried and I have no cable. I'll do my best.
Oh, wait, what?
It's fried.
But I thought, where is it? There wasn't one in your case, you mean? Uh-oh.
Shoes like yours.
Okay.
I got them in New York my last trip. The more beat up they get, the more I like
I
them.
thought you were lying.
And they zip on the side, so you can easy on off.
Friends, Shabbat Shalom to everyone. It's good to see everybody. We're working on a problem in the temple. We put up the Chanukiah outside, and it's not working. We have a haunted menorah. We bought it during the pandemic, right? Remember, we did it. We first got it in the pandemic, and you take it apart, you put it together originally. Then we brought it downtown in front of the Unity Temple. They were very nice to have us down there. It worked out very nicely. We brought it back up here, and last year we had some circuit problem, and then we had someone who was a quasi-electrician, with emphasis on quasi. Clip it, put the clips together so it worked. And then it was put out, I didn't do it, I don't take any credit for it. I'm not telling you who put it up. Okay, but it was put up, and lo and behold, the people who put it up came running to my office for pastoral care saying, it's not working. And of course, they're knowing my knowledge of electricity and electronics, whatever it is. So it will be fixed. But I just want you to know that when you're doing your petitional prayers in private, a prayer for the Chanukiah would be greatly appreciated. And if it doesn't work, it will work. We'll get it working. But it's having a tough time. It's just like the Maccabees who had trouble finding oil. We can't find electricity. Okay, so I just glad we settled on that. So we're going to begin our service with a new Lecha Dodi. And I found it somewhere. I think it was. This is from maybe a Union Reform Judaism convention, and page 2, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela, Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela, Shamor v'Sachor, v'Dibur Echad, Hishmi'anu el ha'miyuchad, Adonai Echad, U'Shemo Echad, Shemo Tiferet v'Tila, Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela, Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela, Ligrat Shabbat, Lechu v'necha, Ki mekor ha'beracha, Leirosh miketem nisucha, Sof ma'azeh b'mach ha'shabbat achila, Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela, Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela, Itoriri, Kiva orech, kumiori, uri, shir daberi, Kivod Adonai alayich nidla, Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela, Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela, Ori v'shalom aderet bala, Gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, Tochem uneh am tzigula, Bori chala, Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela, Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat,
On page 7, let's call upon Kelly Morrell to come forward, who will lead us in the lighting of our Shabbat candles.
Come, let us welcome Shabbat. May its radiance warm our hearts as we kindle these tapers.
Light is a symbol of God's presence in our lives. The Eternal One is our light in our salvation.
Light is the symbol of the holiness within each of us. The human spirit is the light of God.
Light is a symbol of the Torah's teachings. The commandment is a lamp and the Torah is a light.
Light is the symbol of Israel's mission, as it is written, I have made you a covenant people to serve as a light to the nations.
Therefore, in the spirit of our ancient tradition that hallows unites Israel in all lands and all ages, we kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch
Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik
We praise our eternal God, creator of the universe, who hallows our lives through laws and ethical teachings. We are mindful of these timeless values as we kindle the lights of Shabbat.
May God bless us with Shabbat joy. May God bless us with Shabbat holiness. May God bless us with Shabbat peace. Amen. Friends, let us continue on page 36 as we rise for the Baruch Hu. Let us be seated. Let me continue on the top of page 37. Ever-living God, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify of your power and wisdom. Days follow day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, your glory will never depart from us. Help us to be partners that we may endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Together, all goodness and truth come from you, O God. May no transgressions estrange us from you, nor self-centeredness darken our vision of your purposes. Help us to recognize that which is just and more fully understand your will. In adversity and in prosperity, may the light of Torah illuminate our path, and may we labor in your service so that our deeds become a living hymn of praise to you. Together on page 38 at the top of the page. Infinite as is your power, even so is your love. It may be seen through the history of our people Israel, through laws and ethical precepts, through statutes and ordinances. You have led us in the ways of righteousness and brought us to the light of truth. Therefore, as our lying down and our rising up, we will meditate on the Torah's teachings, finding within it its inspiration and guidance for our daily lives. May your love never depart from our hearts. We praise you, God. You have revealed your love through our people, Israel. We continue with Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amecha Ahavta Amcha Al אהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל.
Let us continue on page 39 with the chanting of the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Leolam Va'ed. You shall love the eternal God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be upon your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be a symbol before your eyes. You shall write them on the doorpost of your house and on your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy, holy to your God.
On page 42, let us read these verses responsively. In truth, the Eternal One alone is our Redeemer. Let us praise the eternal God who gives rest to the weary and hope to the despondent. Let us ever acknowledge God as our Creator and hold fast to the Torah. Blessed is Shabbat, the Queen of Days, which offers to our people enrichment of the soul. Even more than Israel has kept the Sabbath, so the Sabbath has kept our people Israel. How blessed are those who observe Shabbat, who sanctify it with prayer, with study, and with friendship. May our homes be filled with light and gladness. May our hearts be steadfast, trusting in the Eternal One. The love of God is our strength. Let us continue with Micha Mocha on page 43.
מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות תוסף אלה, נורא תהילות תוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, חוקי הים לפני משה, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו. Adonai imloch leolam vaed, Adonai
Let us continue on page 44. Let me begin. As the Sabbath descends, it unfolds us in a mantle of peace. It brings to us the precious gift of time to embrace family and friends, to reflect more deeply on the meaning and purpose of our lives, and to worship in the beauty of holiness. May every Shabbat be for us a sanctuary of love and devotion, bringing contentment to our hearts, happiness to our homes, and blessings to our people. Together, those who celebrate Shabbat and call it a delight, rejoice in your creation. All who hallow the seventh day shall be gladdened by your goodness. This day is Israel's festival of the Spirit, sanctified and blessed by you, the most precious of days, a symbol of the joy of creation. Let us continue on page 45 as we rise for the tefillah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid ilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, v'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, u'mevii geula lebnei bneihem, leman shemo b'Yahava, Melech Choser u'Moshiach u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, ve'ezrat Sarah.
You may be seated, and let us read responsively on page 46. God of ages past and future, God of this day, as you were with our mothers and fathers, be with us as well. Grant that we too may be bearers of your teaching, teachers of your truth.
Then our tradition shall endure, and our people Israel will live, from mother and father to daughter and son, and all who follow them.
One generation comes and one generation passes. Each of us is a link in the endless chain of our heritage.
Students of the Torah become teachers, our faith and our ideals endure, our people and our values live on.
Let us continue on page 48. God calls our people Israel to be of service. May we fulfill this charge by exemplifying the Torah's ideals with all those we encounter in our daily lives.
May we have the grace to fulfill our mission with enthusiasm and with joy, always tempered by wisdom and guided by respect for other people's faiths and ideals. May our actions attest to the strength of our convictions.
May our conduct towards our neighbors, our faithfulness in every sphere of duty, our compassion for those in need, and our patience under trial show that the one whose law we obey is indeed the God of all goodness, the loving creator of all people. This teaches us that to serve God is perfect freedom, and to worship God, the soul's purest delight.
May our eyes and minds always be open, so that we may see and welcome all truth, whether shining from the wisdom of ancient revelations or reaching us through the prophets of our own time. For God continues to shed light on every generation that seeks the guidance of the Eternal One.
The people of Israel shall preserve the Sabbath, observing the Sabbath in every generation as a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between God and the people of Israel forever. We continue with Vishamru on the bottom of page 48.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, et HaShabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל הודיע אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל הודיע אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
On page 49, grant, O God, that we may lie down in peace and that we may rise up again to life. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with wise counsel. Be as a shield about us, fortifying us against hatred and war, against pestilence and sorrow. Curb within us the inclination to do evil and enfold us with the embrace of your love. Guide our going out and coming in to life and peace from this time forth and forever. We praise you, God, for you shelter us and all who dwell on earth. We continue with Hashkivenu in the middle of page 49.
Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom.
We read together on the top of page 51. We gratefully acknowledge that the eternal God is our creator and preserver, the rock of our life and the shield of our help. We thank God and sing praises for the gift of life itself, for our souls that are ever in God's keeping, for the signs of our Creator's presence that we encounter every day, and for God's wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. Truly our blessings are without end, and God's loving kindness never ceases. Therefore do we forever put our trust in the Eternal One. Let us conclude the Amidah with Shalom Rav. Page 52.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Taisi. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. אתה הוא מלך אדום לכל השלום, כי אתה הוא מלך אדום לכל השלום, וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני עושה השלום.
Let us continue in moments of private reflection. Friends, let's turn back in our Cedar Ream to page 10. Prayer invites God's presence to lift our spirits. It allows the blessing and gift of hope to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. Together, we pray for all people who are at this hour, are in sickness, in want, or in distress of body or spirit. We name in our hearts those who are near to us, in whose pain we feel pain. Let them know your help and feel your presence, realizing that they are not alone, as is our custom. If you'd like to share a name of someone that you are praying for, thinking about, wanting to send positive energy to them, I ask you to do so. Let's start over here, work our way around. Anyone here? Anyone? We're going to get to anyone? Yeah.
Wes Smith and QH.
Okay.
Joe Epstein.
Okay, anyone else? Let's continue with Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor Avrachah Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor Avrachah La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. יהיו לרצון נמרפי, יהיו לרצון נמרפי, והגיעות ליבי לפניך, mai tu rivigorai. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you. Eternal God, my rock and my redeemer. Oh, say shalom, be romam. We are say shalom, hallelujah. Oh, call Israel. Ve'imru, ve'imru, amen.
Let me tell you about my mother. Marjorie Londy had many wonderful qualities. She was incredibly smart. She was very well read. She was a loyal Jew who took very seriously raising my brother and me as Jews. She was a great advocate for her children. If she thought a wrong had been done to us, she would take no prisoners. She was loving to my father when he was dying of prostate cancer, and she was incredibly supportive of him. She had a great social conscience. She was talented, a singer, an actress. She even had a radio show. Her name, it must have been during the 40s, and her name was Muriel Gray. That was, I don't know how I remember that. She was very dramatic, and she was funny. But like all people, she had limitations, her weaknesses. And her greatest weakness was bearing grudges. If she felt that she had been wronged, she never let go of it. She felt within her own family that there were injustices where she was treated unfairly or unequally. And when I would visit her, part of the visit was always an afternoon of sitting there and having her review these grudges. It was very painful to listen to. And these grudges never dissipated. She carried them like a heavy load. It took away from her feeling good about herself and being able to have more peaceful relationships within our family. And I believe that this trait of hers impacted my brother and me. We should know that bearing grudges is psychologically damaging. It is a psychological quagmire that swallows us up. Therefore, our portion this week resonates. The bearing of grudges is a central theme of the story of Jacob and Esau. We are generally familiar with this story. Rebekah gives birth to twins, Jacob and Esau. And from the very beginning, in utero, they struggle with each other. Isaac loves Esau, Rebekah loves Jacob. Isaac loves Esau's toughness, his masculinity, his hunting abilities. He's a man of the earth. And Rebekah loves Jacob's sensitivity. The rabbis say even his love of Torah, that they sent him to yeshiva. That's one thing we learn. Okay, the rabbis are clever. This is favoritism. This favoritism eats up the family. Jacob is strategic, and Esau is impulsive. And we know what happens. Jacob gains the birthright from Esau over a bowl of lentils. Esau is hungry. He gives up this privilege by accepting lunch from his brother. Ultimately, Rebekah, his mother, who has determined that the future of the family depends on the youngest Jacob becoming the head of the family, helps Jacob to prepare a meal for his father, and helps Jacob pretend to be Esau. And an old Isaac with failing sight blesses Jacob instead of Esau. This is a terrible act of deception. It is totally unethical. And this entire sibling relationship becomes toxic on steroids. And this is the quote. This is the highlight of the negative energy. It says, "Now Esau harbored a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing which his father had given him. And Esau said to himself, 'Let but the mourning period of my father come, and I will kill my brother Jacob.'" I mean, there's no subtlety there. Rebekah knows the threat and gets Jacob to escape to Haran and start a new life with her brother Laban. Now, Jacob spends 21 years apart from the family. Safe from Esau, Jacob's life unfortunately doesn't unfold perfectly. We know he's cheated by his uncle, and on his wedding night realizes that he's married Leah and not Rachel. He has children, he acquires wealth, but he's treated miserably by his uncle, and ultimately he must return home to face his brother. And he fears that his brother still holds a grudge and will carry out his threat from 21 years before. Yet Jacob knows that he cannot move forward without dealing with Esau and facing the consequences of what he has done in the past. And the Torah tells us this: soon after leaving Aram, the home of Laban, his father-in-law, along with his wives. And interestingly, where is this happening? It's happening north of Syria. That's where Aram is, okay? Jacob instructed messengers to go to brother Esau in Edom and say, "Thus says your servant Jacob, with Laban I have sojourned and I tarried till now, and I have gotten ox and donkeys and sheep and male and female slaves, and I send ahead to tell my Lord to find favor in your eyes." So upon returning, the messengers relate that Esau himself is coming to meet Jacob with 400 men. The Torah tells us, hearing this, Jacob was greatly afraid and he was distressed, and he divided the people that were with him and the sheep and the cattle and the camels into 2 camps. And he thought, should Esau come to the camp and strike it, the remaining camp will escape. He said, if I split everything in half, at least part of us will survive. How will Esau engage him? This man who says, I bear a grudge and I'm going to kill you the next time I see you. And what happens? Looking up, Jacob saw Esau coming, accompanied by 400 men. He divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the 2 maids, putting the maids and their children first, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph last. He himself went on ahead and bowed low to the ground 7 times until he was near his brother. And here's the interesting sentence. Esau ran to greet him. He embraced him, and falling on his neck, he kissed him, and they wept. Now, the rabbis want to say that this wasn't what it appears to be, that really Esau was terrible, and instead of kissing him, he really was biting him. But the rabbis are so wrong on this. What happens? He is introduced to Jacob's family. He inquires why Jacob is giving him all these gifts, and Jacob says to find favor. Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Let what you have remain yours. And after some back and forth, Esau reluctantly accepts the gifts. Esau offers to travel together with Jacob, but that's not what happens. Esau and Jacob go in 2 different directions. That's a summary of the story. Now, what really has transpired? Nothing and everything. There is no dialogue of reconciliation. We do not know what is going on in the head of Esau's head. But here is what appears to have happened. Esau has moved on in his life. He has been successful, grateful for his life now, looking forward and not looking backwards. Now, this is not a love fest. Not everything is reconciled. The past is not forgotten. It's not even addressed. But there seems to be a conscious choice by Esau. The past is tragic, but it will not govern the future. Nevertheless, what happens between them is transformational. And the last thing we know about Jacob and Esau is that Esau and Jacob bury Isaac together. Now, as I've alluded to, our sages love to depict Esau as evil. But they get it all wrong. He is the great teacher of Torah ethics. He's the great educator that grudges don't work, they're poison. If Esau does not let go of his 21-year-old anger, there's nothing to be gained and everything to be lost. In Rabbi Joseph Telushkin's, one of his books on personal ethics, he teaches the following, and let me quote, "Holding on to grudges is self-destructive as well as destructive." And Rabbi Abraham Twersky, a psychiatrist who has devoted most of his professional career to working with people with addictions, notes that recovering alcoholics often lapse because of their inability to suppress anger and grudges against people who have hurt them. One man who understand how vital it was for his own well-being not to bear grudges told Twersky, "Carrying resentment is like letting someone whom you don't like lie inside your head rent-free." And Telushkin concludes, "This insight implies to everyone, not just recovering alcoholics, for many of us spend hours, days, even months, preoccupied with thoughts of the person or people we most dislike." And Rabbi Twersky asked, why would anyone allow that? In my 42 years of being a rabbi, I have witnessed too often holding on to grudges. Families where grudges are destructive. My own experiences as well, where they continue to reverberate in the families. Estranged couples living the present through the past. And in all these situations, so much hate and anger get generated and so much time is wasted. Where a peace treaty would be beneficial, it sometimes requires external intervention, including a therapeutic setting. Years ago, the folk singer, Rabbi Shlomo Karbach, Zichron Livracha, who came to America from Vienna as a teenager because of the Nazis, traveled back to Vienna to give concerts. And a lot of people wondered why. "Don't you hate them?" he was asked. And his answer was this: "If I had two souls, I would devote one to hating them. But since I have only one, I don't want to waste it hating." Getting back to my mother, I wish that she had been able to take another path. Her life would have been better by throwing some things overboard. And if she had been able to transcend her grievances and grudges, she would have felt better about herself. And that is one of my life commandments. I am personally struggling to try not to make that same mistake. And I suggest that you join me. Shabbat Shalom. Let us continue in our service as we turn to page 368. Thank you. How did you know I was searching for the number? You're able to read my mind. Page 368. Let us rise for the adoration.
Let us adore the ever-living God. We offer praise unto you. Spread out the heavens and establish the earth. Your glory is revealed in the heavens above, and your greatness
Let us be seated. We join together on the top of page 369. May the time not be distant, O God, when you shall be worshipped throughout the earth, when unbelief shall disappear and error be no more. We pray that the day may come when all people shall be guided by your teachings. Corruption and evil shall give way to purity and goodness. Superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. Then all who dwell on earth shall know that to you alone every knee shall bend and every voice give praise. May all created in your image recognize that we are brothers and sisters, so that one in spirit and one in harmony, we be forever united before you. Then shall your reign be established on earth, and the word of your ancient prophet be fulfilled. The eternal God will reign forever and ever. On that day the eternal shall be one, and God's name shall be one.
ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision and grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's plan, and yet we know that both growth and decay, life and death, all reveal God's purpose. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you. At this time, recall the yurt sites that are part of the permanent memory of our community. Marjorie Berkson, Hannah Borowitz, Barton Cohn, Marwin Cohn, Morris Dreyfus, Katie Franklin, Ella Goldberger, Sarah Green, Ida Hellerstein, Meyer Hellerstein, Charles Hipsch, Richard Hoffman, Gus Kaufman, Ruth Stern Crass, Thomas Lindberger, Lara Ann Monacy, Vivian Oppenheimer, Ronald Potts, Marion Snower, and Arthur L. Stern, and during the period of Shaloshim, Stephen Martin Gershenson, and Edward Porter. In solemn testimony to that unbroken faith that links the generations of the house of Israel one to another, we ask everyone to rise for the Mourner's Kaddish, page 375, continuing to 376. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, b'yamad divrach hirutei v'yamlich machutei, b'chayechon uv'yamechon uv'chayedechol beit Yisrael, b'galav izman kari v'yamru amen, yehei shmei rabbah mivarach li'olam omei omayah, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'rechu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran v'yoma v'yimru amen Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen Oseh shalom b'mramav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who causes peace to reign in the high heavens, let peace descend on us and all Israel and all the world, and let us say amen. Please be seated. At this time, recall the dedications that were made for our Shabbat flowers. Flowers were dedicated in memory of Kathy Franklin by Samson and Ethan Minor Lucht, in memory of Ella Goldberger by Sarah and David Rosler, in memory of Richard Hoffman by Gail and Alan Gutowitz, and in memory of Ronald Potts by David Potts. A couple of announcements. You've gotten the mail, and I have to go over it, our Hanukkah outdoor menorah lighting, and it will work. And then on the Shabbat of Hanukkah, we're having a great celebration, and we will have a lot of Hanukkah decorations. I mean, the level of Hanukkah decorations, we've never had such a thing. And I didn't tell you, Glenn, we got Hanukkah tablecloths that came in today. They're very attractive. In a kind of cheesy way. Okay. The book club is meeting on Sunday, January 5th at 3 p.m. Martha is here to tell you about it. And the food pantry is still collecting food. And there's a young man, Solomon, you're here tonight, right? You remember I gave a great speech you weren't here, but I gave a great plug for your project last week. Okay, so just stand up for 1 second. I don't want it long-winded. Okay, so tell us what you need.
So we're getting books for this organization Need to Read. There's hundreds of kids in the Kansas City area that aren't as proficient in reading as they should be, and they can get better with our help. I'm asking you to donate books, particularly children's books in multiple languages, anything that can help these kids learn so they can get better at reading. Reading is the path to knowledge, it's the path to happiness, and reading can help them unlock a better world. And I just ask for you to please help.
Thank you, Solomon. As I said, it's a great project. Solomon's is a great kid. Let's help him do some good in the world, because we need good in the world, as we all know. Immediately following services, we'll join together for our Onig Shabbat, and we are concluding tonight with Ein Keloheinu. Page 423, Ein Keloheinu.
Ein Keloheinu, ein Kadoneinu, ein Kemokeinu, ein Kemoshienu, Micheloheinu, Michadoneinu, Michemokeinu, Michemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adoneinu, Nodel Emakenu, Nodel Moshienu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonai, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Ataku Eloheinu, Ataku Adonai, Ataku Malkeinu, Ataku Moshienu.
Shalom to everyone. We'll ask your good friend here. Not Everly, we'll ask her.
Yeah.